All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode on the Bodybuilding News Network. As always, I am your host, Sanch Bodybuilding, and let's go ahead and talk about the 2021 Romania Muscle Fest Pro, specifically in the men's open division. We're going to talk about the complete lineup. Before we get into that, guys, if you guys want to check out Rari Nutrition, you guys can check out their website, official Rari Nutrition, and also use my sponsored athlete discount ambassador or whatever the heck you want to call it, code SANCH20. You can also check out Viking clothing, Ninja Viking clothing apparel. They can, was it bodybuilding? Discount code bodybuilding. You can try that out as well. Really cool vintage rag top clothing with lifting shoes, really cool lifting shoes for a very aggressive price of around $60 on Amazon. So check that out. I know they're running a 10% sale for it was for Veterans Day. I think it's going to get pushed through all the way till Black Friday until they have something cool for Black Friday, which we'll announce here on the channel as well. But getting into the scorecard, guys, it's going to be a surprisingly deep lineup. Especially when we start looking at this top four, I think there's going to be some big surprises. Now, I believe that Regan Grimes was going to do this show, but as of the last time I looked at the scorecard, his name is not on the scorecard, so he will not be defending his Romania title. It is what it is. I don't think the title matters as much unless it's the Mr. Olympia. I've noticed that people don't particularly care, you know, if they're going to defend the Indy Pro or the Chicago Pro title. It's not like a thing, or at least the promoters haven't marketed it as a thing. I'd like to see that change, but it is what it is, guys. But let's go ahead and start off with the first competitor on the list, Khaled Alkazen. And the last time we saw Khaled Alkazen was actually at the Prague Pro, so just last weekend, and he brought a very conditioned, separated version of himself. We saw him at the Europa Spain as well, but he looked a little soft, a little bit watery, and it's no knock to the guy. He actually just turned pro this year, from what I saw. He just got his pro card in August of 2021, so a very new pro, and I definitely can see him doing well at this show. It's really going to depend on the conditioning. I'd like to see more separation, especially from this front shot we have here. I'd like to see more separation in the quads and that outer sweep, a little bit of the cross stitching and the striations and that teardrop around the knee area. I'd really like to see some improvements there in the conditioning, but overall, the chest, arms, shoulders look good. Just all around, more conditioning, separation in the midsection, especially. You'll notice if you look at his older shots from the Europa Spain, definitely needed some more separation and conditioning in the midsection. But Khaled Alkazen is the first competitor on the list for men's open. Next competitor is Beiruz Tabani Abba Ghani Abargani, or is the GH make an F? I don't know. Let me know down below, guys. But he is the next competitor on the list. Looking at his Instagram photos, very impressive, especially this post just one day ago with his side tricep shot. I know I was watching, I think it was Fuad. He was talking on his YouTube channel, Fuad Abiad, and he was talking about this guy was probably going to be one of those big dark horses coming into the show. Looking at my predictions for my top 10, he is there. So stay tuned for that. But overall, really impressive look. I believe he's one of the Iranian guys. So it's nice to see that he's able to compete. And since his pro card looks like in 2016, we really haven't seen too much from him in the terms of, or in the forms of good placings at major shows. So this will be, from what I believe, his first big bodybuilding show, open men's IFBB pro show, that he'll have a chance to take a look at some of these top guys. You know, you have people like Rafael Brandao, Samson Dauda, Jamie Johal, these guys, all big names, Quintin Uriah, all these big names. He's going to have a great chance to stand next to these guys and let the judges judge, you know, let them do their job. Number 3 on the list, Morgan Asti, the French giant. I'm Not sure what his actual nickname is, but a French guy, massive, 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 massive. Now, in terms of placings and whatnot, he hasn't been such. He hasn't placed very well. Now, he did the New York Pro this year, or in 2021 at least, so it's still this year, and he placed eighth. I thought that was a good placing for him. There is some improvement that he needs. He's very wide in the midsection, but not very wide up top. So yes, he's a massive bodybuilder. He has a lot of size, but he needs to bring in the midsection. He needs to work on improving that width in the right places and streamline and bring in his midsection specifically to give that physique a better illusion of that X taper. That's kind of what we're going for here. And I know we'll talk about Jamie Johal in a second, but if he can emulate what Jamie's been able to do with his physique, being one of the taller guys in the pro circuit, at least in men's open, I think that is going to spell success for Morgan Asti. But Morgan Asti is going to be competing at this show. Next competitor is Pavel Baran or Baran. Now this guy, great conditioning, great separations in the quads. I love what I'm seeing here from this most muscular shot. Great shot for him. He has great structure, great traps actually. And then like I already said, midsection's dialed in, quads are dialed in. We just saw him at the Prague Pro just last weekend. So expect to see hopefully the same level of conditioning, if not better. But of course, there's always a chance that he might slip up just a little bit. But that is his most recent Instagram post. So hopefully we get to see either this condition or better. I think is going to land him a top 6 finish. He is in my top 10 predictions, so stay tuned for that. But Pavel Baran is the next competitor. And no introductions needed. Rafael Brandao, guys placing top 2 in his first show in the last, I think it's 2 years. He took 2 years off. Not on purpose, but it is what it is. He took some time off, came into this, the Prague Pro, and really surprised a lot of people. I think in my predictions, I had him in the top 2, but for the wrong reasons. I thought that everyone was going to be off, but in reality, no one was really off. Regan looked a little off compared to the Egypt Pro, but it was just really weird show, really weird judging. So it is what it is. Rafael Brandao, I have him in the top 2 this show as well. Now, if the judges are going to be playing the Let's Get Everyone to the Olympia game, which I've got nothing against it for the most part, except it just kind of discredits the hard work that some people have been putting in. Like if a Nathan Dasha comes in spot on 100%, he should be winning every show unless someone's structure beats him out. And it is what it is. But if we're going to play the Let's Get Everyone to the Olympia game, I think Rafael Brandao is going to win this show. If not, two top 2 finishes is going to put him very highly in the points category. And then I'm sure he'll try to travel over for maybe the Arnold. I know Arnold Schwarzenegger really loves Raf's physique, so I could see him going to that show. And then also, pending any COVID restrictions, Rafael Brandao is an international Arnold Classic winner before. I believe the South America, and he's also done very well at the Australia and the South Africa. So he has a lot of opportunities to place very highly in some of these bigger shows, to include the international tour, as he is an international athlete. So Rafael will be he'll be competing here. Victor Joel Rea Cano, he goes by Vic Real on Instagram. He will be our next competitor on the scorecard. You can follow along. As always, you can check out my Instagram. I posted the scorecards, so you can follow along with me as we go through these. But overall, he hasn't been giving us too many sneak peeks on the physique. He did some photos that I snippet from October 28th, which is a while ago. But those are some physique updates that he shared. Great structure, fantastic legs. I don't know what else I could say here. He looks really good. I just don't know how he's going to compare against some of these other guys. If he brings that lights out conditioning, I think he's going to do well. But I think there's some structural things that he might need to work on. The legs, for some reason, just look a little interesting. Maybe he just needs to work on building up the adductors are on the inside, I think. So maybe work on making the legs look a little bit more whole. But overall, I mean, the physique up top looks fantastic. I'd say on his most muscular, the left side looks really unproportionate, but I think that's just how he's holding the shot. But definitely a prospect to do very well at this show. So hopefully we get to see a very good conditioned version of him at this year's Romania Pro. Now, we already talked about, AKA the Giant, Jamie Johal. He will be competing at the show. Hopefully, we've seen him on quite a few of the scorecards so far in this 2021 competitive season, and he has not showed up to several of these shows now. Looking at a photo from 10 days ago, he's posting pictures of him eating, big handfuls of macaroni and cheese and pasta and steak. I don't know if he's in contest shape. I don't know if he's competing. I was really hoping to see him again, but really hard to tell, guys. I do not, just off looking at his Instagram, I don't think he's going to be at this show. But he is on the scorecard. If he is there, I think he would probably place around that top 6, top 8. It just depends on the conditioning, because he has good structure, and he can't really improve on anything right now until he goes back into the off season. At least that's what the coach has been saying. His coach said, like, hey, we know we need to make improvements in the back. We know we need to bring up some of these lagging body parts to, put together the whole physique. But in the meantime, they're going to bring the best conditioned Jamie Johal as they can. And it is what it is, guys. I don't think he's going to be here. So that's probably going to be a scratch. Another competitor we don't need to do too much introductions on is Samson Dauda, the 2021 Prague Pro champ, already qualified for the 2021 Mr. Olympia. This is going to be it's got to be his fourth or fifth show. He did the Arnold UK. He did the Prague. He's going to do the Romania. He did the Italy Pro. A lot of shows, guys. He's done a lot of shows. I think he's going to shut it down after this one. He already got the Olympia qualification. Unless they invite him to do the Arnold or something, I expect him to shut it down and hop off the super supplements, take some recovery time, take care of his body, and then roll into his Olympia debut. Really work into, I think he could land in that top 8 if he brings just the absolute lights out best version of Samson Dauda. So he is definitely a favorite to win the show. I think it's going to be a battle between him and Rafael Brandao. Now, the young blood, the young talent here, Quintin Uriah. Now, I can't off the top of my head remember the last time he competed, but I know he needed to put a lot of size on to stay competitive with the other athletes in the open class. He brings a very classic look to the men's open division. And it looks like he did the Vancouver Pro when Nathan Diasha won. So that was 3 years ago, 2 or 3, because Hadi won it. And then, so it's been a few years since we saw him from what I remember. But even from back then, just amazing structure, amazing conditioning. If he's able to just put on, 10, 15 pounds from this physique, I think he's going to be very competitive. But just looking at these photos from July 24th, I think the big downfall was the legs. The legs didn't match up with the rest of the upper body. So if he can make those improvements, I definitely see him in the top 6. So we talked about Quintin Uriah, Kevin Gebhardt. I think it's how you say Gebhardt. I had a buddy named that back in high school, but Kevin is going to be competing. He's done a lot of shows this year. I think that he's kind of put his name out there as being a top 6, top 8 caliber competitor at these, at least on the European tour, tier 1 shows. Now, I'd like to see a little bit more conditioning out of Kevin. He has the muscle. I mean, he's freaky, especially from the back. I think that a lot of people have overlooked just how impressive he is from the back. Even just looking at this photo from 7 days ago, giving me those Phil Heath vibes with that back double bicep. But brings in the midsection, brings in better conditioning, just really dries out and lets those glutes get really razor sharp. Hamstrings are really dug out. I'd really like to see a very conditioned version of Kevin Gebhardt. I think he could crack into that top 6 if he brought like that all-time best conditioning. But this is probably his 3rd or 4th show this year, so it's going to be tough to say. But caveat, he's only been on cycle. Well, not, I don't say on cycle, but he's been on the prep wagon for maybe 3 months, where he's been trying to peak for about 2 or 3 months. So he's been there for a while. I don't know if he's got any fuel left in the tank, but hopefully, Kevin, hopefully you prove me wrong, man. But I hope to see you in that top 6 call out, maybe top 8 at this year's Romania Pro. Now let's get into some new names. Now the next guy is going to be Adnan Gosto. He's going to be the next competitor on the scorecard. And as always, guys, all the Instagram tags are going to be in the description of the video and in the description of the Instagram post, if you guys check that out as well, so you guys can follow all of these fantastic athletes. That is the intent of what I do here. But actually a really good physique. I definitely think he's going to be on the smaller side coming into this men's open division. He has good structure, really, really good structure for classic. But I definitely could see him getting overlooked in the men's open. I don't know how tall this guy is, but it looks like he's getting coached by Patrick Tour. So expect to bring very good conditioning. He's going to bring lights out conditioning. Looks like he's already gotten the gyno taken care of. Just absolutely shredded 2 days ago. He's posting some photos. Looks like Jay was liking this video. What's up, Jay? But great physique, great conditioning. Amazing taper. Yeah, he's on. He is on for conditioning. Expect to see him in that top 10, I think. Even with him being downsized compared to some of the other open guys, especially in this European tour, you're going to get some of those mass monsters that are really going to shake things up for the judges and make them really work for it this time around. So expect him to be that dark horse conditioned guy, that classic versus the open. Now, another one, as we continue on the I'm new to these guys and never heard of them before, which isn't a bad thing. I'm still new to all this. But Aivars Grigjanis, that's not Grigjanis? Pretty close. That's not a bad interpretation of that last name. If I look at the one contest shot I have from him, very impressive. But I'd like to see more conditioning. I'm not sure how old this photo is, so I do apologize. My notes do not tell me how old this photo is, but really impressive physique, very big, but definitely needs more conditioning. So expect to see him here and fighting for a good place. He's got the structure, he just needs the conditioning. Next up is Mirnes Husahovic. That's not too bad either. You know what, guys? I think I'm on point with the interpretations today. Usually I butcher them. My Budashims, my Slavages, I usually butcher them pretty bad, but I think I'm spot on this time around. But let me know how bad I am. I never truly know. But with Mirnes, the photo I have up, great structure, fantastic quads, adductors are brought in, great conditioning, small controlled midsection, great lats. I think he'd actually be pretty comparable next to Rafael Brandao, but it would have to be depending on how tall he is. But also there's always from the back. And a lot of these guys lose some big points in that back, especially the lower back with the spinal erectors and the Christmas tree area. I've noticed that a lot of people have been missing out on the muscular definition and in thickness and fullness, especially in the lower back. So hard to tell. Great physique. Excited to see him here. Next up, if you guys saw my Instagram post, I posted the Photoshop version of Boyan Ivanov. Great, amazing, beautiful structure, beautiful physique. I'll put the Photoshop photo up here for you guys. But overall, he did. I thought he got completely robbed at the Yamamoto Pro Show. I thought he was going to be in that top 4, and at the end of the day, it did not happen. I don't even think he placed in the top 6. But freaky physique, amazing. Looks like a little pocket Lee Priest without the little bit of racism here and there. But I'd like to see a little bit more conditioning, glutes, hamstrings, especially from some of these shots from his Instagram from October 22nd. If you guys are following along, he definitely needed to bring some more conditioning, but overall, really impressive physique. If he brings a really dried out, sucked down version of this, but still full, I could see him. I could see him placing very, very well. I have him. I have him in my top 10, so stay tuned for that. But Boyan will be competing here. Dani Kaganovich, I think that's spot on too. Dani is also competing here. The last time we saw Dani compete was hard to tell. A lot of physique updates actually. So it looks like he's been on the prep train for a while, all the way back into September. So kudos for this guy. He's really been sharing every single physique update I think possible. And that's kind of cool. You don't usually see that level of transparency from bodybuilders, except for like the few exceptions, the Hunter Labradas, the Nick Walkers, people like that. So beautiful physique. I say it a lot, but great physique, tiny midsection, crazy flaring lats from 2 hours ago. Daniel, I see you in the likes. I see you, man. A bodybuilder without borders. His name's Daniel. If you guys did not know, but crazy physique here. Great, great lats. A little bit on the smaller side, so he definitely looks like a classic guy that came up, or or either that or he's a new pro and he still hasn't put on the muscle. But very promising physique, very very fresh look, and that's kind of how you can tell he's a young competitor. He's new to the pro circuit. Everything looks really soft and clean. Nothing looks blown out. Tiny midsection. Very very good and bright future for this guy. So Dani Kaganovich will be competing at the Romania Pro. Now, Ahmet Kocak, man, there's a lot of names that are very reminiscent of some older legacy pieces in the bodybuilding industry. But Ahmet will be here. Not too sure where he's going to be landing. I think he needs to work on bringing in the midsection. He looks like a 212 guy that moved up. Looks shorter. He looks very compact, but great chest, great shoulders. But I'd like to see the midsection dial it in a little bit more. But to be fair, the photo I was looking at was from July, so really hard to tell here. Looks like, I don't want to say it, but maybe that's his coach. I saw something that said 2003. I'm like, has this guy been competing since 2003? That'd be very impressive. But again, Ahmet Kocak will be competing at the Romania Pro. Man, some of these lineups, I could not do a classic physique lineup. There's always like 30 people, men's physique. I would lose my voice by the time I finish the video. But Toni Kohonen is the next competitor on the list. I don't think this is one of the Iranian guys, but he definitely has that crazy freak factor when we're looking at the physique. Not too sure where we're going to see him. He has the muscle. I'm looking at an August 31st guest posing photo. He's got the muscle up top. I'm just worried that midsection, the midsection looks a little bit too big, especially from 14 hours ago. Yeah, I mean, promising physique. I'm just not sure how it's going to land in this lineup, but always guys, best of luck to all these competitors. Tony, best of luck, man, at the Romania Pro. Another competitor, looks like he was placed 16th at the 2019 Mr. Olympia in the 212, is Bella Kokene or Kokini. Could be either one. Let me know down below. But this guy will be here as well. Definitely 212 guy, very short, compact, crazy wide shoulders. In terms of physique updates, he's showing us some legs from 1 day out, and I see Kevin Gebhardt was liking his physique as well. Midsection, you can kind of see a little spillover in the oblique area. I don't know if that's going to affect him too much, but would definitely like to see a little bit more separation in those legs. it always worries me when you can't see the separation and striations in the muscle. Like you can be big and veiny, but Branch Warren sometimes had that issue with he was so grainy and freaky and vascular, is you couldn't see the separation, so it was just a big mass monster. And the way that the IFBB is judging things as of late is they want to see the conditioning and the separation. So, best of luck to this guy, Kekone, Bella Kekone, Kokene, Kokene, sounds about right. Now, another guy I like this guy a lot is Emir Omeragic. I thought he had a very pleasing physique, great flowing. One of the younger guys. He's got to be a younger guy. Um, he placed fairly well. I think he placed in the top 10 at the Prague Pro. But I think that his biggest knock was his back is not as developed as the front. So, if we can see some improvements there, some fullness development there, I think he could do very well. But, sometimes you just got to grow into your physique, and there's nothing wrong with that. So, I mean, shoot, it looks like he got his pro card in May. So, give the guy some time. But hopefully we get to see an improved, conditioned version of him with his coach, the real technician, Chris Aceto. Now, so this is Team Farah. So Pouria Payoun is one of the Iranian guys coming into this show. You guys already heard my spiel about the Iranian guys not being able to compete in some of these shows because of work visas. It is what it is. I'm not talking about politics here, but hopefully we get to see a very dialed in version of him coming into the show. Very great structure. I'd like to see a little bit more in the legs, honestly. His upper body is very wide and crazy lat development. Tiny midsection, tiny midsection. But I feel like the legs need to just come up a little bit more to match that crazy upper body from the photo from October 26th. So it's been a little bit since he posted a photo, so he could be very on point with his prep. He could be very off. It's really hard to tell. But I definitely like his physique. I believe I do have him in my top 10. So think about that when you guys are thinking about your own predictions. But however you want to say his name, I do apologize. Pouria Payoun. But obviously that's my American way of saying it. It's probably really, really off. But hey, you got to try, and that's something I don't mind is I get to try. You guys get to roast me. I feel like it's kind of a win-win on both sides of the spectrum. So I hope you guys always enjoy. The next competitor, Fabio Romagnolo. Ramagnola. Sounds like there should be an A in there, but it's his name. I can't argue. That's his name. His God-given name or his Allah-given name, however you guys want to say it. Either way works for me. This guy, I thought he looked so cool coming into the Yamamoto Pro. I love that he kept a little bit of that beard. I know he trimmed it up a little bit, but great physique. He's very, very crazy in that front lat spread right here. I'll show it to you guys on the screen. But definitely needs to improve the legs, and then definitely needs to keep that midsection in check because it looks like it's trying to creep on him. So overall, beautiful, massive physique, great structure, but like a couple of the guys on the scorecard, and obviously no disrespect, I freaking love these guys. I love this sport. That's why I do what I do with these videos. I'd like to see the improvement in the legs. So if he could do that, I think that he's going to be a threat to some of these European tour shows next maybe 2-3 years. But that's my little 2 cents. Take it if you want. But I don't think he'll be in that top 10. But if he does, shoot, kudos to him. It's surprisingly a very deep lineup, despite some of the bigger names not being here. Like something I've noticed, and it's unfortunate, and I don't want to get on a tangent because I already know this video is going to be long, but it's something that's really unfortunate about these European shows is a lot of them get overlooked because they don't have those big names, those big American names. I hate to say the big white names, but it is what it is. There's been that like deep-seated racism for 200 years. So there's going to be that thing out there. And you know, if you're woke like me, sometimes your brain goes that way. So it is what it is. But Fabio, it's probably Fabio. Best of luck, man. I really would like to see those legs come up in the next couple of years. But the vascularity was fantastic at the Yamamoto. Looking at those prep file photos, he looks spot on. So, you know, shoot, if he brings enough conditioning, maybe he'll prove me wrong, man. Fabio, prove me wrong. Land in that top 10, man. I'd really be happy for you. Big hitter at the bottom of the list, but very, very likely going to land in this top 6 is Milan Sadiq. Now, I believe Fouad Abiad and all those guys, they had him in their, Milan Sadiq in their top 4. I think that is a very bold prediction. But before I bite my own tongue, I do have him in my top 10. So that is that's something. I do have him actually in my top 8, if that gives you guys a tip. But beautiful physique. He did really, really well at the Yamamoto Pro show. Great conditioning, tan, like spot on tan. This photo from October 17th. Such a beautiful tan. Great legs, definition, deep cuts, small midsection, great shoulders, just all around beautifully put together physique. I'd say from the back, he's less impressive from the front, but still, you know, not a physique to slouch at. You know, still looks really, really good. I'd like to see him in this top 6, top 8. Hard to tell. I think he has the flow of the physique to do well. He has less areas to improve upon than some of the other competitors. He has great legs, and I feel like legs are a big, slow part to improve on. I mean, shoot, Brandon Curry has been getting knocked for his legs for the last like 3 years. So you're at the top of the game and you're still working on your legs. Just speaks volumes about what the guys in the lower echelons of the pro circuit need to work on. And my throat is butchered, guys. So let's finish this up. Bruno Oliveira Santos. I know one of you guys sent me his information, so let me pull that up real quick. All right, guys, I found it. Cruz Bodybuilders is the last guy on the scorecard. Really unfortunate I couldn't find his physique until right now, but you know, overall, I think he's got the muscle. Looking at a video from October 21st, great detailed and conditioned midsection. The legs, the quads look fantastic. You know, honestly, guys, really impressive physique. I'll leave you with this one, guys. Could this be the dark horse to you know, land in that top 6? I definitely was not predicting him to really surprise anyone, but I mean, he looks crazy good. Great legs, conditioned, dieted down glutes, great back. Wow, Cruz, you're cruising for a top 6, top 8 finish here. Yeah, that lat spread is impressive. Anyways, guys, I know that these videos are always long when I do the complete lineups, and it is what it is. I want to give every athlete their spotlight and share with the fans, you guys and gals, all of these athletes and these competitors, because we can highlight, you know, we can put out the Regan Grimes, we can put out the Samson Daudas, but you guys already know who they are. And it's the other athletes, the 212 guys, the open guys that sometimes don't get the spotlight. And that's what I like to focus on here on Bodybuilding News Network. So I appreciate you guys stopping. I appreciate you watching the whole dang video. I know they're long ones. Subscribe if you want to see more coverage like this. I'm going to do a video talking about the time zone discrepancies for the show, the live stream where you can purchase it or watch it from. And that'll be about it, guys. So stay tuned for that video. It'll be coming out right after this one. But thank you so much for watching another episode on the Bodybuilding News Network. As always, I'm your host, Sanch. Comment, like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.